Okay, what do you get when you combine enough power to light a city block with a car stereo system loud enough to be the sound of a jet engine? Well, it's a sport called dBDrag racing. Tonight, we want to expand your audio horizons in this WB38 special report.
They are the muscle cars of the 21st century, but it's not speed that motivates this driver. It's what you see, and more importantly, what you hear. There may not be a more motivated fan of the hi-fi world than Will Alfonso.
Normal car stereos in terms of power run between 1 and 300 watts. This one, 6,000 watts.
Alfonso also installs these monster systems for Tampa's Divine Sound.
The young men and women who get involved in hobbies like this obviously take it very seriously, spending hundreds and thousands of dollars building sound systems for their cars to push them just one step ahead of the next guy. Now let's take this hobby and turn it into an obsession that will cost the owner 10 times as much, but produce sound 10 times louder.
Welcome to the 2003 dBDrag Racing World Finals in Nashville, Tennessee. This is where hundreds of sound fanatics compete for the title of loudest vehicle in the world. But first, back to Tampa, where Will is prepping his other car for those world finals. The rules he must follow are simple. Create the loudest 2 seconds of sound possible and win. For that, Will has loaded this van with 70,000 watts of steel pulsing sound.
From the outside of the vehicle, it's going to sound like a Harley revving it as loud as they can right beside you. From the inside of the vehicle, there's no comparison as to how loud it is. It'll be louder than anything you've ever heard in your life.
The blast of sound is controlled from the outside of the vehicle. Ironically, these guys will never hear the fruits of their labor. The pressure inside would kill them.
This is bulletproof glass.
This is bulletproof glass, right.
Across the bay in St. Pete, Ed Eason also prepping for the World Finals.
This vehicle will do over 170 dB, which is louder than the space shuttle taking off. So that's the kind of pressure it's producing inside when it's going off.
Ed's 12,000-pound steel reinforced van is stuffed with about $100,000 worth of modifications and electronics, all for a shot at noise nirvana. Back in Nashville, Ed and Will and dozens of other dBDrag racers are in the heat of competition. These vehicles rarely leave that competition in the same condition they arrive. Blown speakers, smashed windshields. Will and Ed both return in pieces, but inspired by third and fourth place finishes.
Remember, I'm going to strip everything out of the inside. I'm going to run an extra woofer next year, so I'm going to have 8. I'm going to max out my class. 4 more amplifiers, probably more batteries, and a much more efficient enclosure.
Our goal next year is to be at about 174 dB. Almost 3 times as loud as what we are now.
Really? Almost impossible to imagine, isn't it? Unfortunately, we couldn't really demonstrate for you how loud those cars are. Wish we could. The next competition, by the way, for Will and Ed will take place in March at the Spring Break Nationals in Daytona Beach.